So with me today is our Director of Senior Affairs, Georgia Armijo Brasher. Everybody knows Georgia. And our Employee of the Week is Thomas Gallagher, and his wife April is with him today. And we are honoring Tom for saving the life of a gentleman who was found in Albuquerque unresponsive. This past March, while Thomas was at the North Domingo Baca Multigenerational Center, a gentleman who was 86 years old, Norman Malm, was there eating his lunch. Typical day, right? Well, the City of Albuquerque Senior Affairs Department oversees 2 multi-generational centers, and we serve a lot of meals. In the last fiscal year, these 2 centers provided over 31,000 meals for seniors. In the middle of eating his lunch, Albuquerque Center staff noticed that Norman became unresponsive. So they did the right thing. They immediately called 911, and they alerted Thomas to come to the dining room. Thomas then assisted Norman and came to the belief that he was choking on a piece of food that was causing him to be in distress and not breathing. He promptly performed the Heimlich maneuver, but that did not affect the situation. He then determined that the man had not choked, but that he had something else, that some other issue, and so that he began administering CPR. Shortly after Thomas administered CPR, just before first responders arrived on the scene, Norman began to breathe again. So Thomas's swift, progressive actions in determining why Norman was not breathing, his ability to shift in the middle of a crisis situation is the reason that the life was saved that day. And it's for that reason that Thomas is being recognized as this week's City of Albuquerque Employee of the Week. I'm going to have Georgia give you a few more comments on the situation, and then we have an award to give to Thomas. And appreciate you being here, and April, thank you for being here as well. So, Georgia.
Thank
I just
you.
feel bad about the podium.
I always have to stand on my tiptoes. This is one of those days that a director is very, very proud to have staff that can respond so eloquently to what would have been an ordinary day, but turned out to be a day that we really need to pull on all our skills to respond to a very emergency situation. Tom, specifically, I know, pays very close attention to the constituents that use the facility every day. Very attentive, and he showed his capability on this day in particular to save this gentleman's life. And I know that gentleman would have loved to have been here today, but thank goodness, because of the effort that Tom did, he's traveling to see his grandchildren. And so we're all excited about that. And I want to thank Tom for his extraordinary effort, and the mayor for allowing us to do this.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. So before I give Thomas this award, I just want to say yesterday we were out at Los Volcanes doing the Veterans Wall. And if you take the time to go to one of the senior centers, you're going to see something pretty special. You're going to see seniors, which is what the point of the centers are, but you're also going to see multi-generational activity. So we're getting the generations together at these centers. But what you're going to see, really, and you're going to feel as much as you see, is a sense of safety and a sense of belonging. And the seniors that go to these centers, they know the staff by name, and the staff become their friends. And yesterday when we were given these Veterans Awards, they were thrilled to get the Veterans Awards, but they were thrilled to share the day with the staff from the City of Albuquerque who come in every day and not only feed them a nice, nutritious meal, but also just make them feel like they belong in our community. And at a time in people's lives where oftentimes they feel isolated and lonely, these senior centers are much, much more than just a meal. They are a place to belong. And Thomas, I know that you and the staff do keep a close eye, because you're their caretaker too, right? You're their friend.
Yes, sir.
And you're keeping an eye out. So this week, what we do with our Employee of the Week is we have a mug for you,
Thank you.
and then we also, let me open this up. We have an Employee of the Week certificate, and it reads as follows: Thomas Gallagher, Department of Senior Affairs. On behalf of the entire City of Albuquerque, I, Richard J. Berry, Mayor of Albuquerque, thank you for your public service and your dedication. Your actions exceeded the call of duty, and you went beyond normal expectations. For the entire week of June 19th, 2017, you are entitled to all privileges set forth by the Office of the Mayor as Employee of the Week. And then we also have a letter that we'd like you to put in your personnel file, so that when promotion time comes around, we got you on record.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, man, we
Thank you
appreciate you
very
very
much.
much. So
Appreciate it.
thank you so much. April, thank you for
you.
being here as well. Let's give Thomas a nice round. Our Friday's hero this week is it's actually two APD officers. One could not be here today with us, Officer William Velasquez, but Officer Paula Mauser is here with us, and they are our Friday's heroes because they went above and beyond to help an elderly couple whose luggage had been stolen from their vehicle in the city. So the story in this occasion is one that we don't like to see, where someone is coming through our city and has something stolen. In this case, it was 88-year-olds Kendall and Jacqueline Hayes, who live 6 months out of the year in Tucson, Arizona, and the other 6 months in Illinois. So they are snowbirds, right? They've enjoyed living in 2 homes and traveling between the 2 states for the last 15 years. Last month, the Hayeses left Arizona, and they drove to Albuquerque to have a brief layover. After checking in that evening to a hotel, they had dinner at a restaurant a few blocks away, and once they were out, they could see that thieves had taken the opportunity, had broken 2 of the windows in their SUV, and stole some of their luggage and their belongings, including some of their business records. When Officers Mauser and Velasquez arrived at the scene, they quickly sensed the distress you could imagine that the couple was going through, especially being in their late 80s. So following the investigation, the officers decided to do something above and beyond. And they did, to help the husband and the wife through this stressful situation. One piece at a time, Officer Mauser and Officer Velasquez moved the Hayes' luggage that was still in their vehicle up to their hotel room. And because 2 of the SUV's windows had been broken, the officers then arranged to have the vehicle moved so that it was safely parked at the hotel's front entrance, where it could be seen by the hotel staff. Mr. and Mrs. Hayes reported in news articles by the Journal and others that Officer Mauser and Officer Velasquez renewed their faith in all police departments because of the kind treatment that they received while in Albuquerque. They praised the APD for the recruitment and training of these 2 police officers, indicating that Officers Mauser and Velasquez possess a natural ability when working with the public through difficult situations. And if you talk to and you get a chance, or if you know an Albuquerque police officer, you will know that when the police show up, it's not a good day, right? It's generally not a good day for folks if the police have to show up to a scene for one reason or the other. But time and time again, we hear stories about our Albuquerque police officers bringing an extra added value to a tough situation, whatever it happens to be. And it always involves kindness. It always involves compassion. It always involves being ambassadors for our community, and they really are that. So it's for this reason that Officer Mauser and Officer Velasquez are being recognized as this week's Friday's Heroes. I'm going to have Chief Eden give a few remarks, and then we will do our Friday's Heroes coins. Chief?
Thank you, man. Well, Paula, first of all, congratulations. I know that every day you encounter different types of circumstances that require you to draw on your training and the skills and knowledge that you acquired at the academy. But this required a skill that we don't teach, and that's your heart. So on behalf of the family that was affected by this, Paula, you guys did the right thing. You helped them, you helped reduce their stress, you took care of them and made sure that they were safe while they were here in Albuquerque. So on behalf of the police department and the many people you serve every day, thank you so much for serving our community from your heart. Congratulations.
Good job. Who's with you today?
This is my boyfriend, Dan.
Dan, nice to see you. Thanks for being here with us today. So this is the coin for Officer Velasquez. I'll give it to Chief. This is your coin. It is the Mayor's Public Safety Heroes Award. It is for police, fire, and emergency management, and it's just a small token of our appreciation for the work that you do on a day-to-day basis, and for allowing us to highlight you to our community so that they can put a face and a name with the men and women who are out there protecting them on a day-to-day basis. And for the great work you're doing, we just say thank you, and with gratitude we give you today's Friday's Hero Award.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So last but not least, we are honoring 17-year-old Nainika, I'm going to say Ravichandran. Anything close?
Close enough.
Say it correctly.
Ravichandran.
Thank you. For her leadership and her commendable dedication to service in the city of Albuquerque, volunteering countless hours to help individuals who are homeless and children in the city of Albuquerque who are in need. Nainika recently graduated from Sandia Prep High School, where she served as the president of Helping Hands, a student organization that volunteers with various nonprofits throughout the city. Through her leadership, she built a relationship with Zapatos Inc., a nonprofit organization that provides new shoes to children who come from low-income families. With support from Zapatos Inc., Nainika and her peers raised enough money to buy brand new shoes for 20 students from Mission Avenue Elementary School. Beyond this, she and her peers also spent several class periods making blankets and donating them to Cuidando los Niños to give to people struggling with homelessness. The ambitious teen also spends her time volunteering for the University of New Mexico, UNM, Foundation's Refugee Wellbeing Project, a program through which students from UNM serve refugees from Iraq, Afghanistan, and different countries from across Africa. While volunteering for the project, Nainika tutored refugee children here in New Mexico to help them adjust to a new environment. And I'll talk about that in just a minute because I see that as a mayor. That's a beautiful thing you're doing. When she learned that many of the young refugees did not have any clothes, she took it upon herself to host a clothing drive last winter. The drive resulted in Nainika donating over 100 pieces of clothing to the UNM Foundation's Refugee Wellbeing Project. To prepare for her future goal of becoming a physician, Nainika has also volunteered at Presbyterian Healthcare Services Emergency Department, and recently she became interested in pursuing a career in surgery, this coming after completing an internship at New Mexico Orthopedic Surgery Center. When do you sleep? Do you sleep at all?
Yes,
Do you
I
ever
do.
sleep? You do sleep, okay. All right. This year, this accomplished young lady received the Albuquerque Community Foundation's 2017 Kiwanis Club of Albuquerque Scholarship, a program that recognizes outstanding community servants. Nainika plans to use the scholarship for her undergraduate studies at my alma mater, UNM, go Lobos, where she is currently enrolled as a freshman for the fall semester. Nainika was born in the southernmost part of India and moved to the United States as a young lady. As a child, she found her passion for volunteerism when she began volunteering with her mother, who's here with us today, at the Roadrunner Food Bank 10 years ago. And since she was 11 years old, Nainika has donated more than 1,100 hours of her time giving back to a wide variety of nonprofits in Albuquerque. They say volunteers worth their weight in gold. Well, I think today our volunteer of the month must be a billionaire for donating that many hours. She is a service-driven student. I don't know who wrote that, but that's perfectly said. Who has intentionally looked for ways to help children and adults in our community. So for this reason, Nainika is being recognized as the City of Albuquerque's Volunteer of the Month for the month of June. And if you've forgotten, 8 months ago, we announced the Albuquerque Kindness Act, ABQ Kindness, and I always pitch this, and I need your help with this. Not with starting my phone, I could do that. But let me get to the right. I should have had it queued up, and I didn't. So we have the ABQ Kindness app. And we are working towards 1 million acts of kindness in our community, and we are letting our youth drive this initiative. And we are letting kids as young as elementary school students, middle school students, high school students, and of course the young folks and students at UNM teach the adults in Albuquerque how to be more kind. And so I will share an act of kindness from you today, and you are now, I should do it 1,100 times if I can find some time later. So you are now I think 158,000. Over, yeah, you're in the 158,000 range. But I want to just remind everybody to do that. So I'm going to have Dathan Weems come up, who's the chair of the ABQ Volunteer Advisory Board, to give a few brief remarks, and then we have a nice award for Nainika as well. Dathan.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I don't know about y'all, but I find you to be very inspiring, and I think that's really something when us adults can be inspired by a 17-year-old who's really showing us how to do things. And I very much appreciate that as a community member. As a parent, I also appreciate the inspiration I'm sure you've given to other students. I think we all know that you're not here by yourself, though. I think your folks have clearly been great mentors to you and have provided you lots of opportunity. And so we thank you very much for doing that as well and for sharing your daughter's time with us. We really appreciate it. This ward couldn't go to a better person. We're very, very thankful and grateful that you've done this for our community. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dave. So you're going to study your undergraduate UNM, and you're going to try medical school.
Yeah.
Are you in the BA
I'm on
MD
the
program?
I'm like 7 on the wait list.
7th on the wait list. Well, we'll make a few calls because I think that would be a great opportunity. I was in the state legislature. We have a great program at UNM called the BA/MD program, where you can start as a physician on that track as your freshman in college, and it's a very popular program, as you can see. So we have for you a mug for coffee for your late night studies, or tea or whatever you like, and then. This is what the certificate reads, and it says Nainika. Okay, say it again.
Ravi Chandran.
Ravi Chandran. On behalf of the entire city of Albuquerque, I, Richard J. Berry, Mayor of Albuquerque, thank you for volunteering both your time and your talent. You have been granted this award because of your generosity and the countless hours that you have spent investing in our community well-being. And I want to thank you especially, too, for working with the refugee population. We have the first of its kind Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs through the Mayor's Office, through a Kellogg Foundation grant. We just started that. And I get a chance, and I get blessed almost on a weekly basis to meet with the refugee community in the city of Albuquerque. They're beautiful people. The children are beautiful. They need an opportunity. They need somebody to wrap them in care and kindness, and you're doing that. So on top of everything else, thank you so much for doing that. We're proud of you. Our future is bright, and we just appreciate everything you're doing. So thank you so much.